Hello, this is Matt from tracyandmatt.co.uk, and here I am with the Samsung Galaxy S4, the latest in the S range from Samsung, obviously building upon the S3 that has been extremely popular, and then again on the S2, which was also extremely popular. So the S4 we're going to take a look at. We're going to come back to it in just a second, take a look at the other accessories that we've got in the box first. So we have the quick start guide and warranty card and all that kind of stuff there. Notice that the box and all the packaging and everything else is printed on this brown, which I think is to have the appearance of, if not actually be, recycled printing materials and everything else. So there we go, that's kind of all brown. Inside the box then I have a set of headphones which are in-ear style. Actually it's a headset rather, in-ear style. If I can actually undo them, there we go. In-ear style headset, 4-pole 3.5mm jack with in-ear style headphones on the ends, and an inline microphone with push buttons for answer and hang up and down volume control. So they're all there. That's kind of cool. That's a good looking headset as well actually, so I'll just push that to one side, keep that all together. Then we have the micro USB sync charge cable, a bit chunkier than your average, but it is a standard sync USB style cable. Then have the charger itself, so it's a, there we go, UK 3-pin, thanks to the bit that slides on the bottom, which I'm having trouble doing. There we go, slides on the bottom to actually UK 3-pin plug, and with the folding top pin there obviously means it fits in the box a little bit easier. The USB connector on the top to plug in the sync charge cable. There's another set of earbuds for the headset, and then finally, getting everything else out of the way, that's the battery, which is a 2600 milliamp hour battery, a really big battery as you can see, but then we're going to kind of need it for powering this beast of a phone. So I'll just take all these screen protectors off in the back. We'll have a quick look around the handset itself. So on the front we have, well, dominating obviously is the screen. It's a 5-inch display, Super AMOLED, and it is full HD, so 1080 by 1920 pixels. A couple of phones on the market having this full HD display, this and the HTC One spring to mind, but it's a Super AMOLED display, as I say, 5-inch, a little bit bigger than the 4.7 on the HTC One. Proximity sensors, ambient light sensors and all that kind of stuff at the top there, and a forward-facing 2-megapixel camera. The 2-megapixel camera is actually capable of 1080p video recording as well, which is a little bit more unusual. Loudspeaker at the top, push button underneath, menu, back, home, that kind of stuff. Actually, yeah, button at the bottom. There's an up and down volume control on the left hand side, which is again slightly more unusual. It's typically on the right. On the bottom, small hole there, which is the microphone, and then a micro USB sync charge connector there on the bottom. Power button is on the right hand side, as you can see there, and then on the top there's another microphone, which is there. Oh, that's the infrared transmitter that side. That's another microphone there for picking up or noise or ambient noise reduction, that kind of stuff. And then a 4-pole 3.5mm jack for plugging in the wired headset that comes with it, or indeed your own headphones. On the back we have a 13-megapixel autofocus camera with LED flash, dual shot as it's called, simultaneous HD video recording and still image recording at the same time, simultaneously. And then we pop the back off like so. It's a little bit tricky. And underneath we have space for the SIM card, which is a micro SIM. The micro SIM card goes this side, and the micro SD HC memory card on this side, supporting up to 64 meg micro SD memory card. So battery goes in this compartment here, and the back cover snaps on. For the ones with the wanting a cover, the cover actually is that covers the screen is actually incorporated into the back cover. So we don't have one of those here, but that's kind of cool. So let's snap all that back on. Yeah, and we'll just power up while I'm doing that. There we go, it just vibrated on, and now it's powering up. Rest of the specification: quad band, GSM 8 and 3G, 4G as well, LTE where it's supported, micro SIM card as we've already mentioned. So let's start up. Super AMOLED display, 480. No, it's not. It's 1080 by 1920 full HD. In terms of size, we're 136.5 millimeters from top to bottom, 69.8 millimeters wide, and at the thickest point we are 7.9 millimeters. Extremely thin. Look at how thin that is. It's a really thin, really nice feel as well to actual handset, and it's, well, I'll say it's pretty good looking as well. 130 grams. It does feel very light actually. Again, I think I've mentioned this before, it's styling and the curvature at the back and stuff like that make a big difference to how heavy it feels, but in spite of that, it is actually 130 grams. The display on the front is covered by Gorilla Glass, Corning Gorilla Glass 3, which is their latest sort of iteration of the scratch resistant Gorilla Glass on the front. We support Wi-Fi, 802.11b, GN and AC standards, dual band DLNA and Wi-Fi direct, Wi-Fi hotspot modes, Bluetooth 4 with A2DP, EDR and LE modes. We have an NFC transmitter receiver in the back there, that's sort of incorporated in the back there, back cover. And we have, well, we've mentioned the 30 megapixel autofocus camera, that's there. I think that actually must have it does have a little plastic cover over that, which we will need to peel off. The forward-facing camera, as I say, 2 megapixel, and is capable of 1080p video recording, as is the one on the rear. And we also have, well, as you would expect, built-in GPS with assisted GPS support. The operating system is Android OS 4.2.2 Jelly Bean, and we have a quad-core CPU, which is 1.6 gigahertz. It's a Cortex processor, and with PowerVR GPU as well. Sensors, you've got accelerometer, ambient light, gyro, compass, barometer, temperature, humidity and gesture, which is a little bit different, so that's kind of cool that that's also incorporated. And then, as I say, we have the infrared transmitter. I mean, there was a time when, going back sometime, I guess many years, where almost all phones or smartphones that were running, Pocket PC OS had infrared transmitters, and that just gradually disappeared. And now we've got two devices hitting the market at the same time, which is the HTC One and this one, that have the infrared transmitter on top. So that's sort of seeing a bit of a comeback there as well. So I think that kind of covers sort of the basics of the specification. So let's just go ahead and have a look around here. Warning me that there's no SIM card. I tell you what, immediately the display, in terms of its brightness and clarity, being AMOLED, Super AMOLED, is quite surprising. Actually, it's quite stunning, and just how instantaneous it is to actually notice that there's kind of a difference. The colour is awesome. So anyway, let's go ahead and set up on a Wi-Fi. Well, you see the QWERTY keyboard there at the bottom, and then in the landscape mode as well. So let's go ahead and connect to the Wi-Fi. One thing that is quite nice about that is actually a 4.0 keyboard, or 5 if you count the space and the shift and everything else, but you don't have to sort of use shift or a symbol mode to get to the numbers, so that's kind of cool. I do like having a 5.0 keyboard. So let's go ahead and sign in, which we have, and we'll just accept defaults pretty much for everything else, so we can kind of just get through this as quickly as we can. There we go. Does help if you read it properly. And we're going to skip the Samsung account for now. Google, yes. So let's go ahead and sign into our Google account so that we can actually get into the okay, signing in. Actually, a really sensitive touchscreen, which I guess would, I guess should be obvious that it's a capacitive touchscreen, but it is really sensitive. I've mentioned this before. Even some capacitive touchscreens seem to require a bit more pressure, whereas this is kind of the lightest touch, which I like. I don't like having to kind of stab at the screen, so that's kind of cool. And it's doing our restore of our Google account, so it's hopefully won't take too long. Okay, just a little stop-start on the recording there because the restore did take a little bit of a long time, so let's just carry on. I will skip Dropbox. I do have an account, but skip all this just for the time being and leave the device name as is, and hopefully we should be kind of there. There we go. So we have started up. And so initially we obviously have the, this keeps powering off, let's come back, oh dear. Right, okay, so we have obviously the time, and it's going to be trying to find the weather here. Got the Google search for the voice search, email, camera, Samsung apps and Play Store, and then along the bottom we have phone, contacts, messaging, internet and apps. Apps we can obviously get into the launcher, and we have a quick look what we've got in here. Flipboard pre-installed, Google Chrome, chat on, email, internet, some more Samsung apps and Samsung Hub and the S Voice, S Health. There's some other bits and pieces in here. TripAdvisor already installed. That's something that's a little bit more unusual. And Watch On. So that's a kind of some of the apps we have, and in terms of the widgets that we can add as well. There's quite a few pages of widgets, so that's quite cool. I know I'm kind of a fan of messing around with the widgets, so we'll have a look at that. So center screen here is kind of is your home screen. On the other side you have Travel and Flipboard widgets, and then we have a calendar and event, chat on, group play on that side. Coming the other way we have story album, I guess that's for photos, and Walking Mate, which is part of S Health, and then the Samsung Hub widget there as well. Taking a look at the Samsung apps, just launch that and we'll accept, and this is going to go and check. It's going to want to update. Agree. Okay, the display keeps switching off. It's kind of annoying, but there we go. So swiping down the top, this is really irritating. This face detect in terms of who's looking at it when it's looking at it is irritating. You can turn on the Wi-Fi, GPS, 5/8 screen rotation stuff at the top. The brightness of the display there as well. So if we turn it out of auto, we can turn it up to maximum brightness. At the moment, it's updating some of the applications through the Google Play and the Samsung apps as well, and obviously telling me that I have some updates, 14 updates through the Play Store that we need to kind of look at. I really do need to actually disable that face detection. NFC switched off, near my device is showing mirroring. My device, lock screen, unlock effects, shortcuts, wake up commands, that kind of stuff there. LED indicator, so there's an LED in the top there and we can determine what that actually does. There we go. So home screen modes, we can switch easy mode and standard mode. Easy mode, okay, that's kind of just sort of more much larger icons and sort of more simplistic. Come back out of there. Different screen modes. Adapt display dynamic, okay, that's different screen modes, that's kind of cool. Screen timeout. Let's turn to 1 minute for a moment. That was kind of annoying. And whoops, let's go back in the settings, see what else we've got in here. We've got Google accounts, so we can add various accounts and more storage about device. We can see bits and pieces in here, model numbers, Android versions, baseband, and all that kind of stuff. Storage, let's just take a quick look at, and let's sort of, there we go. So there has been, to be honest, there's been a fair amount of criticism even in mainstream media, blog sites, and various parts of the press about the S4 and criticising Samsung for their marketing of the S4. So I have a 16 gig model here. It is advertised, I believe, probably even on the box. Maybe not. It actually lists it as being the 16 gig. Anyway, this is a 16 gig version. And bear in mind, I really haven't done anything with it as yet. We have a total amount of space free, which is 9.15 gig. The rest of the internal storage has already been taken up by the operating system. And actually that's the available space is down to 8.27. So the operating system takes up all the rest of that space. And in terms of other apps that are already installed, the amount of space I have now available to me is just a shade over half of the 16 gig, which is kind of a lot. And I think the sort of the pressure and the comment that people are making to Samsung is you're advertising as a 16 gig model. Technically it is, but you're not actually disclaiming that in any way by saying, oh, by the way, only 9 or 8 gig is available, where other manufacturers typically would. And well, it's kind of a lot of space to be taken up by the OS in the ROM. But anyway, let's just bear that in mind if you're choosing a 16 gig model, because it is probably the best selling model. Frankly, it's the cheapest. Just bear in mind the amount of space that you've got. You can obviously insert a memory card, but inserting a memory card only allows you to store music and videos and other media. You can't install applications onto the SD card. You used to be able to with other versions of Android, but you can't do that at the moment. So just bear that in mind. If you do install a lot of applications, you might want to consider the 32 gig model, or even obviously the 64. But just be aware of that. There we go. So other apps. I want to just take a quick look, as we always do, at the internet browser. So let's go and have a look, because it's now syncing my applications. I'm going to go do a quick look at our site. It's very fast. We're using broadband on Wi-Fi, of course, but it's loading very quickly. Page is rendering nice and rapidly. And there we go. It's not quite full screen now. There we go. So because we have that HD screen and a really nice AMOLED display, text is really easy to read, even at sort of a fair arm's length that I'm reading it now. That's really easy to read. So we can switch into the landscape mode, double tap to zoom in and all that kind of stuff. But yes, that works very, very well, and because you've got that many more pixels on the display to render it, it does obviously work out quite a lot better. The other thing, because obviously it is pulling down some of my applications, or quite a few of my applications through my Play account. One thing I want to have a look at, if it's already come down, is to have a look at a benchmark. I don't think Quadrant has come down just yet. Can't see it, so let's go into the Play Store. Yep, it's not come down yet, so let's go find the right up there. Play Store. Now we'll do a search for Quadrant. Oh, it is installing. Okay. I'm going to wait for that progress to finish installing. I do like the fact that it's doing a full sync with all your applications. Not all devices will do that in actual fact, so it's quite good that it's done that. The notification area at the top I like as well, the fact that you can do all this stuff. Something that I think Samsung absolutely get right with their interface there. As you can see, there's loads of things that you can. I'll switch off that smart stay, thank God for that. That you can see there as well, so that's quite cool. So has that finished downloading yet? Let's have a look. the other thing I quite like about the launcher on the Samsung is that it does just wrap all the way around, so you just keep going in one direction, and it just kind of keeps looping around rather than having to swipe backwards and forwards. That's kind of cool. It's just a really small thing, but I think that's actually a nice thing to have there. So come on, let me finish installing. It's still going. Okay, well, while we're waiting for that to finish coming down, let's take a look at some of the stuff on here. Have a look at the YouTube client, as I always do. I do a search for Leo-D, which is my pseudonym on there. So okay, well, we've got the Samsung Galaxy Note there. I'm just going to take a look at that. Well, that buffered and played quite quickly. Let's skip the ad. Buffered and played really quickly there through the ad. Wait for that to come up. You can obviously full screen as well. I mean, I am really very impressed with the display. There's no two ways about it. There's no two ways about this. It's a really good-looking display, very impressive, and I want to say very bright. Colours are awesome, really colour boosted. It does look good. So I think it would be excellent for watching videos on. Absolutely. And we're still waiting for that. There we go, quadrants down. So let's do a quick benchmark. Bear in mind that obviously some other stuff's coming, kind of being downloaded and installed in the background, but we run the benchmark anyway. So it won't take long to actually get through. And we just give you a rough idea of how the handset performs. 30 frames a second there we were getting. Well, that's pretty quick. 60 frames a second there, easy. Awesome. That's really cool. And 60 frames a second there as well. Again, that's pretty good. And we're nearly done. There we go, it's the last one. 40 frames a second. Okay, benchmark results. There we go, wow. Nearly 12,000 is our mark there. So that's very cool. And as you compare that to the HTC One X. So just give you a rough idea of the performance there, and obviously you've got the back and the home buttons there at the bottom. So they just give you a rough idea of the performance. Well, I guess that's kind of a quick look around at the Samsung Galaxy S4. We'll do some more videos of this, some of the sort of more unusual or specific features to the S4 that you wouldn't get on any other device, for example. So we'll have some more videos for you on that. If you want to ask us any questions, please follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/TracyandMatt, or facebook.com/TracyandMatt.co.uk. If you want to ask us anything about this or any other devices we're reviewing, or in comparison to the HTC One, for example, then obviously just let us know and we'll try and cover that for you and come back to you. But I'll be back soon with some more videos and reviews on TracyandMatt.co.uk. But for now, thanks for watching.